Next up on the number one tee.
Well, hello and welcome back to your virtual tea time. My name is Tori, and today, first off, we have Al back. Hi, Al.
How about when people see me and they're like, "Hey, Al." Hi.
Or sometimes they'll call you Allie, and I don't know why. That just doesn't hit with me, but it hits with you just fine.
Yeah, because Mom calls me Allie.
I know. I don't know why. It's just, I'm like, wait, who's Allie? And we got Bailey Chamblee here. Hi, Bailey.
Hi. What I love when I'm on the golf course with you ladies is I hear you laughing from like 5 fairways away. And I'm like, yep,
you're
that's
not
Tori
alone.
now.
No, it's so annoying.
No, when we're on the same like foursome too, I feel bad for the other two that are joining us.
It's really annoying. At least we're self-aware. We are annoying.
We're going to have Echo joining us soon too, but she is busy doing something over at Allie over at the store, so she'll be sneaking in shortly. But I want to dive into a little golf update because Bailey Chamblee has been holing out pretty much every round that you're playing right now. Okay.
I mean, it's insane.
Let's talk about the hole-in-one a couple weeks ago because it was your first one.
Yes. So that was March 24th of 2023. You know, 3/24/23. I can remember that.
Okay, love it.
Right. First ever hole in one. 8 iron at Arizona Country Club where we all belong. 120 yards. And yeah, went nuts. You saw it. You were in the group behind.
No, and
Yes,
and Alex was too.
She was in the perfect spot for her first hole-in-one.
Yeah.
She had, they were on the tee on 8. We were on the green on 7.
On
No,
6.
on 6.
And she was on 7.
Yeah, so
And
you were surrounded by our friends, and
that was
I
so
mean, that
awesome.
thing went in. You could see it,
Yes.
and the crowds erupted.
Yes. I think we screamed for like a solid 5 minutes straight.
Yeah. It's so fun. I mean, you probably have a million golf rounds in, and it took you that long to
I've
get a
been
hole in
playing
one.
since I was 15, so 20 plus years. And I have holed out from the tee before after shanking my first shot. So I have holed out on a par 3 from the tee.
Nice.
And I know we're going to tell another story in a minute about that as
Yeah.
well. That happened recently, but yes. But that was my first hole in one, right? Because that's not a hole in one if you mess up the first shot.
Exactly.
Right? So,
exactly. Well, let's finish that round too. What happened on 18?
Oh, right. So then, yeah, we get to 18. It's a par 5. I hit a poor drive. I hit kind of a poor 3-wood, and I have a 5 iron in, which usually I have 9 iron pitching wedge. I had a 5 iron in this day. Go right at it over the bunkers, which, you know, it's like all
And
carry.
there's trees.
There's trees. There's 50 bunkers. Like, it's crazy. I go right at the pen, unintentionally actually, but it goes right at it. And we walk up there in the hole for a 3 for an eagle.
The same
round.
as the hole in one.
To shoot 80.
So still not your favorite score, but quite a memorable round.
Yes. I'll take
so
it.
fun.
I started that round double, so actually to have 80 is fine.
Yeah. And you just got back from Sawgrass.
I did.
TPC Sawgrass, which is where they hold the players tournament for the men.
Yes.
And
The
I guess you call it the
infamous
championship. Yeah. So
17th.
you were on the 17th hole.
Yeah.
And what happened?
So all day that day it was blowing 30-mile-an-hour winds, and so I was hitting these like knockdown shots into the greens all day long. And anyway, we get to 17. Worst shot of the day I hit. My first tee ball on 17. Worst shot by far all day long. I was playing well, even in 30-mile-an-hour winds. Goes right immediately, like, see you later. Wind's working left to right, off into the water. Peace out. No way it's staying on the green. Go to like leave the tee box, but my playing partner was like, "Oh, do you have another ball?" And I was like, "No." And so he tossed me one. So I put another ball on the same tee with the same club. I took a look, I swung, and that ball goes in. 17, Island Green, TPC Sawgrass. Al's eyes are ginormous. Have you not seen this?
Well, I watched it, but I couldn't see.
Oh, you couldn't see.
So I thought you kept going in the water.
Oh. Did you read the caption? Did you listen to Did you see the hugs? Did you see the spin? My husband picked me up over his shoulder and spun me.
And the interesting thing is I didn't see it on Instagram. I feel like I saw it on Brandel's Twitter account. Like that was the first time I saw it. And I'm like, wait, I got to circle back to Instagram and mention something. So, but yeah, isn't that hilarious?
I tend not to focus on details. That might have been a detail that I missed.
We're just going through social media at a rapid pace.
I'm like, what did she do? Did she go in the water a couple times?
No, I didn't get that excited about a second water ball. No.
Okay, and then wrapping up from last week, we had member at Arizona Country Club. We all played. We all had separate partners. Al, you were with Aaron. I was with Barb. Bailey, you were with Chris. And I have first and second place right here with me.
Well, yeah. They kicked our butt. We had
Well, not as close.
I wouldn't. Yeah, I wouldn't go that
We
far.
were neck and neck until Aaron and I doubled a par 3 together.
Well, let's talk about that
Double.
final round. Okay, so
we played together, Tori.
Yeah.
In the first round.
yep,
With our
which
partners.
was fun, and you guys played lights out. I walked off the course, and Al was walking to her car, or we were walking to lunch. I don't know. I go, that Bailey made every flippin' putt from 10 feet and in.
Yeah,
She did.
I said, oh, she does that.
Yeah, and Chris is like flailing, like out of the hole, and Bailey has to make the 10-footer to make par, and it happened at least 5 times that day. Maybe more.
I went home to my husband and I was like, I'm pretty sure I'm really annoying to play against. Like super annoying. I would hate me if I had to play against me because I have those days where I just grind my rear end off and I make 10 footers to save par. Yeah. And it must be super frustrating.
I have seen her do that.
And Barb and I played well that day, so it was fine. When you're playing well and the other team's playing well, that's okay. I mean, you all have those rounds where everything goes in. Everything that you look at goes in.
Right.
Yes. I enjoy being the annoying one. Elle, do you enjoy being the annoying one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not as much as you, though. I feel like you definitely do that.
Well, so the first round was best ball. And then the second round of our member championship is combined quota. So you go into the second day knowing anything can happen. If you're in last place, you can be in first place. If you're in first place, you can be in last place by the end of the day because both players pretty much count.
Absolutely.
And quota is a format where it's kind of like Stableford. For each score you get on a hole, it's worth a certain amount of points. But it's all gross scoring, and then you have a quota number. It is really complicated to explain.
Based on your handicap, you have to get a certain amount of points.
Exactly. So if you've played it before, you know what we're talking about. If you haven't, it's really hard to explain over the podcast. But pretty much both players count for that final day. Anything can happen. Alix and Aaron were paired with Bailey and Chris. And how'd that final round go?
So I didn't look at the leaderboard all day until maybe around like 16, 17.
And you can
I
do
didn't
that.
want to know. Well,
Really?
Because I didn't want to put that pressure on myself because I knew that we had to play well.
Yeah.
But also like whatever's going to happen is going to happen. And I just didn't want to think about it. So I didn't think we were playing specifically that good. Like I did play well on the front. I shot 38 on the front.
Mm-hmm.
But then
Chris played well. Chris
played,
meaning she played well enough to not have like those huge blow up holes where you're getting 0 points.
correct.
And that's the key.
Yeah, exactly. Like you don't have to both play lights out, but you both have to play above
You have
average.
to keep it like kicking the can on down the road. Like,
Exactly.
yes.
And then Al, you got to tell us what happened on number 5 with Aaron. So Aaron's a very good player. She was your partner.
Yes. And this is just, she hits like you hit. When you go, like when we all go left and then dogleg right and then we go right, they all go over the trees.
Like 20 yards further right than we could ever imagine.
And you
going.
think it's a mishit
Right.
and you think there's no way it's in play. And sure enough, it's in great shape. And then they're chipping up for, an eagle, whatever. So she did that. And she's like, it didn't come down. I'm like, I'm sure it's down. I'm sure it's fine.
Yeah. So this hole number 5 at Arizona is a dog leg right, and there's trees, in that dog leg, but it's open pretty much. Like if you hit a tree, you always 9 times out of 10 you're finding your ball. You're not losing your ball if you hit it right.
Mm-hmm. And she went around, and we did, and everybody looked, and we couldn't find it. So it must have been stuck in the tree.
Yeah.
There are a few fluffy trees there, so maybe it got stuck in there, but we looked, and we were one of the first ones through, right? So no one was playing ahead of us. So it wasn't like
you guys were 1A, no one was in front.
Yeah, like it was like, okay, fresh fairway, and we could not find it. So she went, she had to go hit another one back on the tee box for her third shot. So, that was like an unfortunate double, but trust me, it wasn't that reason,
Yeah,
I had to play a little bit better, but yeah, I mean,
But that rarely happens, right?
Rarely
For you to
happens.
lose a golf ball there. So,
Yes.
I mean, the double.
so a double on her
Instead of a bogey
a
or-
par all day long,
Yeah. And so you didn't look at the scoreboard till 16. After 16?
So then.
It's hard to tell though, because they don't combine the 2 days.
Yeah, that's true.
Right.
So-
But then I just realized we were actually in it. Because again, I thought we had to play better than we were playing. And we weren't playing bad, but I just thought we had to play better. And so when I looked, I was like, oh, we're actually like right there if we finish solid.
right.
Yeah.
So then, but I mean, we still like bogeyed in, or I mean, I made a par at 18, but
Yeah. It wasn't like, oh my gosh, she, birdie, birdie, birdie. And, it was almost like we were limping. We were all limping to the finish.
But those are like hard closing holes. Like
They are.
They're longer. They're tough
Exactly.
closing holes.
And then three teams were blazing ahead and did, shot 15 under par.
Well, Jackie and Marisa,
Yeah.
they came in with
15 under par. So that's when you get people that are completely out of it on the first day, where they were 2 or 3 over or 5 over.
Yeah,
and then
they
all
were
of a
towards
sudden,
the bottom of the leaderboard for sure.
and this was a scenario where it was a 3-way tie and we won the scorecard playoff. And I don't know how that works, because I feel like I always lose the scorecard playoff.
Well,
so hey,
now you can't say that anymore.
Well, it was
You
based
won.
on the first day's score.
okay, was it?
Yes.
That's what I figured.
So y'all
okay.
were low on day one.
Which I actually like that scorecard playoff scenario where it's based on day one.
Really? I don't.
You don't?
I do.
You
I
wish-
Don't. Well, you like it because it worked in your
Yes.
favor.
But anyway, skip to the end. Bailey and Chris won the member defending champs. You won it last year too.
Yes, which they said was the first time anybody's ever defended the women's member. So that was a
like
big
it.
deal.
That
And
was
we
a
got
big deal.
we got for our prize last year, we got to pick our own golf bag. And they ordered it for us and embroidered it for us. And then this year they had bags already chosen that they had already embroidered with, WGA member champ, whatever. My husband had been in the market for a new golf bag.
Oh my gosh.
He went to like PJ Tour Superstore to go buy one the other day, and he's like, I'm not spending $500 on a bag, blah, blah, blah. So I come home with the new bag, and it's like a hunter green. And he's like, oh my gosh, thank you. Like, this is great.
I worked so hard at this. I've
And
supported
I was like,
you.
in my mind, I was like, but that's a really pretty bag. And I was really excited. And then I was going to change to it. But I was like, sure, honey, here you go. And I was like, do you feel bad? It says like WGA. And he's like, no, if anybody asks, I'll just brag on you. Like,
Oh my
this
gosh.
is great.
He is your number one
He
fan,
really
which
is.
is awesome. Yeah.
No, but how about if you're at the PGA store looking at bags and Brandel Chamblee comes up right next to you and is like looking to buy a bag for himself? It's like, Brandel, aren't you getting a bag for free
He
somewhere?
goes in all the time, buys stuff off the rack, clubs, everything. And I'm like, what are you doing?
That is so funny.
All
You can come
right.
to Allie. I'll sell him a pink bag.
Yeah, exactly. All right, well, let's get into today. So we're going to talk about finding your own golf style, all about golf clothing. But I want to give the Golf Closet a shout out. Today is the first day we dropped the first episode of the Golf Closet.
Wait, we did?
Yep. So this podcast is going to air Monday, which is where we're.
Okay.
You thought it was like real life. No.
Like, wait, I missed that memo.
So the
Details.
The episode is dropping on Monday with this episode, the podcast and the YouTube episode of the Golf Closet, which is a brand new venture, a new thing that Alix and I are doing, which is it's all about golf clothes. It's hard to explain.
We love golf clothes. And we love talking about golf clothes. And we love talking about everyone's outfits, meaning like, where'd you get that? Well, do you like this? What brand did you, it's all we
mix
talk about.
matching brands and finding new outfits and finding new things. It's like a treasure hunt sometimes in this golf
So
apparel,
fun. Oh, yeah.
universe, like trying to find new brands, new ways of dressing on the golf course, because it is constantly evolving. I mean, even look at the past 5 years.
Oh my gosh.
How much our styles
It's
changed.
exploded. Yeah, in the last 5 years. But
So-
wait, what is the Golf Closet?
So we're taping like YouTube. I keep saying YouTube episodes because that's where it lives.
Sure.
So it's the first episode is about 45 minutes long, and it's summer must-haves. And we go through, oh my God, I think there was like 16 different outfits, all different types of options. And it's all about golf clothes.
Love it.
Yeah.
And it's dropping once a week or
Twice a month.
twice a month? Okay.
So this is our first episode. And then our next episode is going to be all about golf skirts that will dropping the third week of May. So
Perfect. I can't wait to tune in.
I know. We're excited about it. So you'll see it out there. Check the show notes
I
for a
haven't
link.
watched it.
Yeah, so I wanted to talk about that too. So Al won't watch it, which
No.
I get. When I first started doing podcasts, I'm like, I can't listen. I can't listen to myself. You know, I've been looking at myself on video now for quite some time, so it doesn't really bother me as much. But
I said if I
get
watch it, I'm not doing it anymore.
Bailey, you're on TV a lot. Do you ever find like you'll go tape something and you're like, you know, I just think I shouldn't watch that.
Oh, 1,000%. I hate the sound of my voice and I hate watching myself on TV, except I will years later like revisit a clip and I'll be like, oh, I don't know why I was like so upset about like thinking that was not good. That was pretty solid. Like, but no, I like people in TV on like they hate for the most part, right? It just like, gives you the heebie-jeebies. I agree.
Oh, no, I said I just can't. You guys,
and that's fine.
Yeah,
that's
you
fine.
guys take care of me, and I'll be good.
It came out really well. Again, the reasoning for us to do it is to give you inspiration, introduce you to new brands, show you different ways you can mix and match outfits and just new ways of looking on the golf course. Because we all kind of get in our style and maybe stay in that style for maybe a little bit too long. We kind of mentioned that we've been wearing Lululemon skirts forever. And so we kind of go through that.
Not anymore.
But anyway, there's a link in the show notes for the golf closet. So check that out. But let's get into Echo's here. Hi, Echo.
Echo's just
Echo, what's
arrived.
going on?
Listen.
Did I forget to tell you where we were? Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I just assume everyone knows where to go with the podcast studio.
I got in my car and then I'm like, I see Alix's car. So don't drive anywhere.
I know.
I'm sorry.
No apologizing.
No,
You
you're
look
just
fabulous.
in time. Yeah.
No, you're really just
Yeah.
in time because it
And
was just.
I feel just in time.
This is Echo's first time on the podcast. She's a little
not
nervous.
nervous at all.
Oh, she's a little Echo, the only thing I'm going to tell you is that you got to talk close to the microphone, closer than you want to be, but we're just going to get started. So let's talk about our golf style. Bailey, why don't you go first? Because Bailey's golf style and what you enjoy wearing on the golf course is completely different than Alix and I, and even Echo. Echo, you have your own unique style too. So what do you enjoy wearing on the golf course?
I think I like to be super feminine. And a little bit though with like sort of like an edgy twist. Like I love wearing a golf dress and then like high tops or boots y'all have seen me in.
Oh,
even
we've
when
seen
it's
the
not.
boots. We have seen, and
Even when
I do have an affection to those boots. I feel like when you show up in those boots, I'm like, she is owning those boots.
Yeah.
Like
Exactly.
there's
They're
nothing better than
super
confidence.
cute.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
like they're winter technically, but I wear
She's
them
always
in like
cold.
March or April.
Yeah,
They're like,
she-
I don't care. They're like high tops kind of, even though they're golf boots and they are golf specific, Duca del Cosma. So yeah, we've had this discussion before, Tori. I don't want to look like an athlete on the golf course. I want to look like I could also like leave and go on like a day date with my husband or something. So just very feminine, but kind of edgy and like unexpected. And like we're talking about, you know, always looking for like those new brands and the new ways to style stuff and mix and match brands is really fun.
And every year you go to the PGA show.
Yes.
In Orlando, in Florida, in January. And do you get introduced to a lot of new golf brands there, or have you already kind of seen them out there? How do you find the new golf brands out there?
I'd say it's a mix and match. A lot of people reach out to me when they're about to launch their new brands, or if they have just launched, or I'll get, somebody will send me, hey, check this out. But a lot of it too is at PGA Merchandise Show.
Yeah.
And a lot, as you two know, because you've been the last couple of years,
Yeah.
you were there also, Echo. A lot of, right, like transitional, like not just golf specific brands are coming more and more to the PGA Merchandise shows. So they're showcasing like you can style non-specific golf stuff as golf stuff.
Exactly.
And we are in the middle, I feel like, of an emergence of those brands that have been in the contemporary side. So when I say contemporary, like what we sell at my stores for the past 20 years, which is just your Michael Stars, AG, Velvet, just mainstream brands that are now starting to dabble in, okay, this untapped market. First it was activewear. Now it's kind of gone into this fun little tennis wear. And now it's really saying, oh, there's a whole nother platform where we can reach a whole different demographic and maybe build our business.
Yeah.
And that's where like Smith & Quinn is a prime example.
Yes.
They were in the South. They're making very preppy day dresses, and now I think he said that they do 40% of their, I'm probably really not being accurate here. So, but he said
I
now
think you're
it
close.
makes up 40% of our business, which is the athletic line, which they do a feminine version, I feel, of an athletic. They have their own little style.
Yeah.
And
like dainty prints and very sort of like whimsical. Yes. I really like their stuff. Yes.
Yeah. So it is nice to see. I think now you probably can say, like, from all the years going, it is really starting to evolve.
Absolutely. And I saw, like, from this year, which is funny because every woman has a different perspective on what's going on. I left this year's show in 2023 in January more excited than I've ever been about the future of golf clothing. And then I saw some other females who were there who I know personally and know well in the golf space. And they posted and they're like, oh, golf clothing still has a really long way to go.
Oh, no.
And I was like, really? Like, this was literally the first time that I was like, yes,
I think if you're in the industry, you see just little glimmers of hope. It might not be like where they see it or want it, but man, when they make that first jump, I feel like that is now the ball is just going to start rolling, and it's going to be rolling down a hill.
Yes.
It's going to be super quick.
Totally.
So that first step is always the hardest. Mm-hmm. And then I think it's only onward and upward.
Exactly. And Bailey, now this episode's also on YouTube, so you can see what Bailey's wearing. But Bailey, will you give a shout out to what you're wearing today? Because you wear that on the golf course all the time.
So this is actually a golf brand, and I'm wearing it today, not intending to play golf at all. Like, I'm running errands all day. Yep. And when I was walking into the podcast studio, someone was like, oh, I love your pants. So totally can be worn off the golf course. So this is For All, which is brand new. Michelle Money and her partner, Jen, I forget her last name.
And that's her real name, right? Michelle Money.
Yes.
She was on The Bachelor. Oh my God, I love that. Michelle
Who's
Money.
now engaged to Mike Weir.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. So it's their line, which they just launched within the last month. And I was like waiting, you know, I saw preview stuff and I was waiting online the moment it dropped to like buy some stuff. So yeah, like it's super cute, kind of preppy, but also like, you know, kind of funky, chic. Oh, what am I wearing? For people who can't see, it's a pink like sweater vest.
Oh, that is pink.
It's a light pink.
Yeah.
With like a crest on the left, whatever that place is, above the
chest.
Thank you.
A
word that rhymes with chest was in my head, and I didn't want to say that word. So anyway, and the pants, which I'm sitting down, so you probably can't see if you're watching, are green and white, like hunter green and white checkered with a stripe down the side that's pink. So like delicate, dainty, but a little bit of like an edge, just like fun and funky kind of. And so I haven't actually worn it on the golf course yet, but I have worn it around town to dinner.
Yeah. Isn't it fun to when you find a brand that you connect with immediately, and then you're like, what are they going to do next?
Right.
Where are they going to go next?
Oh, totally.
How, you know, what is it going to be? And that is the best, because every line reaches out to that person in a different way. Mm-hmm. You know, for me, it might be something the opposite of what you like, and I get so excited. Yes. And I see the girls when I bring it in, and I'm so excited, and they're looking at me like deer in a headlight, like, no, girls, this can be good. It's gonna be good. But you know, it's just different things for different people, which is awesome.
And the For All brand, again, it's I want to say eclectic, but it's just different from what we've seen out there in the golf world. So, but you might find a piece from For All and pair it with something from Smith & Quinn or
Golf Teeny.
Yeah, anything. Yeah. I mean, that's the fun of it too. It's just finding these pieces that you love. And again, that can be on the golf course or not. So.
I paired it first, because this outfit like does go together, right? It's both from For All. And I paired it this morning first with another like golf piece that again it does have a collar, but it's sleeveless and it just didn't look like a golf piece. It was a pink floral, but I was like, no, actually this is better. Let's just stick with like what they put together is pretty dang good. Can't beat that. So let's calm down on the like mixing and matching. Let's just stick with this.
But let's be clear. If she showed up with a floral top and checkered pants, I wouldn't even blink an eye. I'd be
I
like,
thought
Bailey's
it looked good. But I was like, no, let's just keep it.
No, and it would look good, but it's just your style. I love it. Yeah. I love it.
That is awesome.
I want to hear more about Echo style though, because I don't know Echo as well as you guys do. I've only played with you once or twice. So
yes, Echo is Echo. Tell us what you love to wear on the golf course. What do you, and you're wearing
Foray
top,
and then Jay Lindenberg bottom.
Yeah.
I'm very preppy. Half of my wardrobe is navy. I struggle with black.
Yeah.
I don't know what I like.
She wears it's funny because she's been working at the store and I see her kind of come in and she gets the high tops or not the high socks going on and, pulling them up. And, I love when people wear things that I normally would not wear.
Yes.
Because you can always then see as a buyer, like, okay, those pieces she's loving. Then when I see them out there and I'm like, where do I see that? You can say, oh, that looked like what Echo was wearing. It's a version of it. So it is
helpful.
It is helpful.
Yeah.
Really
and I
helpful.
think the high socks are coming in right now. Like they're
totally coming in. And I love that Echo wears high socks because that is something I wouldn't be able, like,
Oh my
right
God,
now,
if
I
you-
can't pull up. Like, no.
Try.
No, I
You
don't
could
wear,
try.
first off, I don't wear any socks on the golf course. So we can't, the whole golf game would be off, like,
no,
off
your
kilter.
calves,
I
it would
think.
just be like,
No, my calves would be bursting the socks. It would not be a good, so anyways.
we
but
know our limitations.
Yeah.
The Creek family, we know
Yeah.
it's not good.
But I, tell us about the 4A brand because they're based out of New York City, right?
Yes.
And
So it's
women owned.
Women owned. It's hard to find here. So I've found this core piece. It's like the core sleeveless, and I have it in like 6 colors.
Yeah.
It's like you find what you like and you just mix.
Mix and match.
I have those shirts.
I
We
do
had
too.
them. We had that brand at Alley when I first opened.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
And they have a lot of great skirts too. I feel like
Yes.
you've worn a lot of.
a lot of fun prints and like kind of crazy out there, like in a good way.
Yeah. Al, what would you say?
Boring.
No, not at all.
Not at
I
all.
would say, or at least I'll speak for myself. I do like to look like an athlete, but I gotta say, I'm mix and matching some more feminine pieces in with my.
And I love that
clothes.
you're doing that.
Yeah.
Because we do tell each other when we think like, okay, you need to stop wearing, like when I
Yeah.
wear the same visor, when I first started, she's like, stop wearing the same visor. Why? I like this visor. No.
It's my favorite one. I work out in it. I play golf in it. I play tennis in it. It's my favorite one.
But you made a great point. Like if you played softball, you had one visor
one
that
hat.
fit right.
Yes.
And
And you're
wore it.
superstitious.
Yes.
And
You
it
never
has
wash.
sweat stains, and you don't care because everyone else's hat had sweat stains. And then you show up on a golf course with a hat that had sweat stains.
Oh, it's
and
bad. That's
no.
bad.
No.
That doesn't look good.
No.
But you don't know that when you first start out. So that little tip for the beginners, just alternate your hats and your visors, please. Don't wear the same one because you'll get a comment from one person in the group.
Yeah, and lately I've been washing my visors, and they're not coming out right. So I used to tell people, like, just throw all your
No,
visors
soak
and
'em.
hats in.
I just put them in,
washer.
you know what? You just put them in water, like soapy, like Dawn, like put a little dishwashing liquid in, stick them in there, soak them. It goes away.
Okay,
Good to
that's
know.
that's a good trick.
And then they don't lose their shape.
What you wore at Member, the floral, was that out of your comfort zone?
With
Or-
matching shirts with
Yes.
Barb.
Because that was really pretty.
Yeah.
And
Well,
feminine. and
so Barb she just turned 84 years old.
she's
My member
amazing.
partner.
She
Amazing.
walks, carries her bag every day. She's amazing.
No, and she probably goes, let's say Barb probably goes nonstop from 6 a.m. to 8 p.m.
Oh,
every
yeah.
day. She doesn't sit.
No. And she does walks. After she walks the golf course, I see her on Scottsdale Road.
What?
Yes, I've seen her walking on Scottsdale Road by Lincoln.
Oh my gosh.
Speed walking at that. Not just like sauntering, speed walking.
Anyway, she's my partner for member, and I wanted to match, and I just like took charge. You know, it wasn't like I texted Barb. I'm like, Barb, these are the shirts we're wearing. This is, get matching bottoms, blah blah blah. She was like, okay, whatever. But she likes wearing those long sleeves,
Of course.
and I like wearing the short sleeve or the sleeveless. So I think what was it? Ivy
It was
Cool?
Sans Soleil.
Sans Soleil. I picked out those tops that were really pretty prints, and Barb was able to wear a long sleeve. I wore my sleeveless, and we looked like a team. And we had
Sans
matching
Soleil,
hats on.
yeah, Sans Soleil is one of those brands, and they have like 100 prints. So don't get mad at me, but like 80% are prints that you're like, no, bad.
Don't get mad at
Don't
her.
don't get mad at
Don't get
me.
mad at me.
And that's just my opinion. And I have trouble with prints, but then there's like 20% that they're really good, and
Really
they can
good.
be paired back to some basics. If you're a basic bottom girl, like this is great. Okay, yes, just stay in that lane of the 20%.
Yes. So, Alex, you opened the Alley store, which is golf, tennis, swim resort,
Right.
about 1 year ago.
Yeah.
Are we coming up on the 1-year
Yeah,
anniversary?
it's going crazy. Yeah.
It's going.
It hasn't been a year yet, even.
bananas.
Like it seems like
Just-
it's been in my
it
life
was
for years.
the anniversary was, I believe, it's the same as Tony's, my girlfriend's birthday. So I think it's the 18th was the anniversary.
Okay.
And it's
Incredible.
going bananas.
So I have 8 locations, not all Alley stores, but if you take all 8 locations and there's 3 different concepts, and I have 2 Alley stores, those 2 Alley stores, the amount of time that I allot to that buying is probably 80% of my time compared to the other stores.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why. It just is. And
Because
so
I think you love it too.
it's provided a nice little spark to keep me going after 20 years in retail.
But didn't you launch Alley just sort of like as a pop-up experiment?
So I started thinking about it, and we put it into one of my existing stores because the product started coming in. So that's how that kind of happened. And then I got the location.
Okay.
It was kind of like, if I would have had the location, I probably would have done it a little bit earlier. But yeah, I would say maybe 6 months prior, 5 months prior to actually opening a store.
Okay.
I got that idea.
And for those of you listening, if you ever come to Phoenix, Scottsdale, if you visit the area, there's one location in Old Town Scottsdale and then one in North Scottsdale. So you can look at shopalex.com for the locations. But I would say that was kind of a pivotal point of you kind of changing your golf style and evolving.
Well, it kind of, I've talked to people about this. So being in the industry with a boutique for 20 years, you get very, like, you don't tend to look around you at other boutiques and promote them or promote. It's hard to explain. It's kind of like very competitive.
Yeah.
And certain areas, markets are more competitive. Like Illinois is way more competitive than Arizona.
Mm-hmm.
So when I opened Alley, it has this thing of where you want to really partner and promote brands. And I know it's not other boutiques that are doing the same thing, but you have this more of this camaraderie in this environment that I have never experienced before.
Yeah.
So, it's hard to explain, but it's almost given me like another resurgence of like energy, because it is exhausting.
Yeah.
Picking out season after season of the same thing. You're seeing the same things just on repeat over and over.
And again, it's predominantly golf and tennis wear. So maybe that good energy of community is just based around sports that we love, and it's outlets for us, and the clothing just makes it even better.
Well, and it's interesting now that there are a lot more places you can go to get your stuff, and obviously the internet is super helpful now that you can search other websites or whatever. But as a consumer looking in this industry, it was very difficult to find clothing, and I found myself searching tennis websites to try to see if I could get a skirt that was a little bit longer to wear on the golf course instead of the traditional old school golf wear.
Yeah.
And y'all get a lot of product in. I mean, it seems like from the consumer, from me, it seems like you're churning product all the time.
We are.
Yeah.
The
so
website.
like if you're not checking in or popping in or checking, like things are gone. And I'm like, oh. And then there's new things. I'm like, oh.
Yeah. I feel like I'm on a good little cycle. I feel like I'm on a good cycle right now because it is a very big business of reordering styles and then combined with newness. And it is difficult to, like when I first started, the first couple months, I found myself buying, my percentages were off. Like I was investing in things that I shouldn't have been. Now I feel like I'm getting a good little cadence. It's very hard to figure out that model of not overbuying, but getting that stuff in. Like you said, that's the demand is there and getting it and making sure it's new and fresh, and different.
Echo just started working for you recently.
Congratulations.
3 weeks ago. No, I'm so excited that you're there.
After me going, hi, do you want to work for me? Hi.
No,
Hi.
for 18 months.
Yeah.
Maybe
Hi.
even 2 years.
Hi. Yeah.
And she would say to me like, "What about Echo? What about Echo?" I'm like, "I don't know about Echo. I love Echo."
I know, but more like, because retail isn't for everybody. Yeah. I've seen this a lot where people want to work and you want them to work and you want them to love it like you love it. And they come to work and they flail, it's not for everybody. It's tough
It
work.
is tough. It is tough.
And Echo really likes the floor. That's how I know when someone has retail in their blood, is if they really don't say, you know what, I don't want to work on the floor. That's where the heartbeat is. You meet the customers, you see it, you get excited. And
has there been anything surprising to you working with the customers and working around golf and tennis apparel more on a daily basis now? Because you came from, you've been in the golf
Sales,
industry for a while.
Mm-hmm.
So now that you're in a retail store with golf apparel, seeing the customer, what has surprised you, if anything, about the customer and what they like and what they go towards?
It's amazing between the two stores. So up north is very personal. We have repeat customers. Rita, hey, great to see. And I'm learning this. I'm like, you guys know all their names. This is fantastic.
Yeah.
So it feels like more country club, what I'm used to, right? Hello, Mr. Johnson. Hello. Like you greet them with their name, which is great. And then down here, it's mainly tourists. We do have repeat customers, but it's like totally different shoppers.
Yeah.
Like and they're
like,
always amazed, aren't they? Like, wait, what is this?
Yeah.
We've never seen this before. And it's it's just fun to tell people. Like pickleball's huge. We have so much pickleball and people are like, we've never seen. Like it's just fun to show and have people experience and walk the floors. And
well, especially too in this area, right? There's not a ton of great shopping, I would say. I mean, like the malls down the road, but if you're like walking the streets of Old Town, there's a lot of restaurants, but there's not a lot of shopping.
There's a large amount of eclectic things that have been here for years,
like
selling
artsy stuff.
Lots of turquoise.
Yeah.
If you want turquoise, this is the place to come. Or a belt buckle.
Yes. Okay, let's get into how the golf apparel is influenced nowadays, because usually when we're watching, professional sports, the players are usually wearing the clothes that we're kind of going after. Mm-hmm. How do you think that is now, or how has it changed, Dale?
Well, I was thinking about this a couple days ago, just randomly. Our grandmother, she was a big influence in my life when I was playing tennis. So growing up playing tennis, junior tennis, college tennis, pro tennis, she would very much tell me that you have to present yourself in the best light. So you have to tuck your shirt in, look like Chris Evert, come out here with the skirt on, don't wear shorts. Don't get mad at me, but I don't know why. She said, wait, look feminine.
Get mad at our grandmother.
This is your platform and you want to bring the best person every day.
Representation.
Yes. So I always have had that in the back of my mind, and looking when I grew up with Chris Evert and all those girls, that what they wore directly influenced or impacted what we wore. So we very much had that, like, oh, I want to wear that skirt from Fila. I want to wear that skirt from Nike. I want to, look, a tail was a big, I want to wear that tail skirt. Now I think being in the golf side, I feel like there's a huge disconnect from what they are wearing.
The female professional golfers.
So in my opinion, that's not a big impact. So where do you get your inspiration? Where do you get to know what you want to wear, what your style is, what's out there? And really, I mean, your fellow golfers, but sometimes if, you guys live in a cold climate and you don't maybe have the accessibility to stores that have good product, what do you wear? Where do you see yourself going? So that's just an observation that I had. Where do I get that from? I get it from everybody who I play with, and then in turn, what I buy, and then what I see people put together. I feel like in Arizona, where we are right now, I feel like at the forefront.
Yeah.
Can I say that? Like, I feel like to put that out there, I know it's bad karma, but I feel like it's really...
Don't get mad at her.
Don't get mad at me. I really am a people pleaser, even though I am a little confrontational.
Yes, this is true. Bailey, what do you think about that, though? And the men's side, yes, I feel like they're still influencing the other male golfers, male amateur golfers, recreational golfers on what looks good, what to wear. But on the female side, you just don't see that pop as much.
So I think a couple things. Firstly, obviously, like sun protection, right? The professional women golfers who are out there all day, every day. The sun really affects your skin. I mean, it's not a vanity thing, like,
Yep.
right?
Yeah.
Like this is like health and vanity. So, you will see them wearing like the sun sleeves and being covered up more. And I don't blame them, right? Like, I don't think fashion is the first thing they think of.
So, but wait, let me ask you. So it's common in tennis, and you see it, for those girls to be out there for 3 hours, not 4 hours, but 3 hour. 3 hour match is not abnormal. You do not see the tennis players wearing any sun protection at all, which I'm just saying, like, that's just an interesting take on it. I've never really thought, it is such a prevalent thing in golf.
But I would argue, I mean, I think golfers are out there at least twice as long, which again, I'm not saying it's okay or that's
Right.
their answer why tennis aren't also wearing those. But I think like that is significantly more time that women are out there, women golfers, because obviously you get there early, you warm up.
Right.
It's a 4.5 to 5 hour round. You hit balls after, you blah,
Right,
blah.
right.
Like you're out
So
there
it's all day.
the time. And
Yeah.
like, yeah. So I don't blame them, but I think that that's like where they go first.
A big
Their,
influence.
like protection.
Yeah.
And then secondly, I would also say, and I don't know how y'all feel about this, but like if I have a really important match that I really need to like play well, I also don't I don't lead with fashion on those days, because if I'm like want to look my cutest, right, I'll put on a dress with like pleats and billowy, and then if there's wind and then it's in my way, and then I'll have like a
Bailey,
bucket hat.
I'm
And blah, blah, blah.
I'm gonna have to pause you right there, because on the second round of the club championship, she's playing Izzy. Okay, big match.
Oh, I remember.
And I remember her coming with a dress and her boots, her golf boots.
Well, the boots
Okay.
are
And
like,
I-
non-negotiable. The boots are coming,
And
they're
I thought
comfortable.
on the first tee, I go, God, she is fucking ballsy. And I love it. I go, she's wearing boots to the club championship.
It was cold. Wasn't it cold during that time?
It
not
was
that day.
nice, but it was still a little, it wasn't like how it is now. But I just remember that like it was
Well,
yesterday.
so to
Yeah.
our point here then, like, yeah, I did have a dress on that was like kind of billowy
Yeah.
and it was breezy, and I had to keep tucking it up under my shorts that are built in,
Uh-huh.
right? Like underneath, because, right, my,
And
but
was it driving you crazy?
it was. And so that day
Mental
I was
note,
like,
yeah.
I was like, why did I do this? But I didn't think it was going to be windy. And I was like, oh, I was going to look cute. Because the day before in like the semifinals or whatever,
Yeah.
or the quarter
No,
or
when
whatever.
you played me, and she
Well-
kept giving me holes to make me go farther. That was so sweet. She was so nice.
No, but they-
Next year's gonna be better.
That's a whole nother podcast episode, Al.
Our club.
giving me 30-foot putts to keep it going.
Well, no, the one, I gave you one. What she's talking about, she hit it to like 15 feet, an amazing shot, and she blew her first putt for birdie by like 20 feet. And I was like, that's good. Pick it up. Like, you did not deserve to like have a 15-footer that you sent 20 feet by. I was like, that's good. Just pick it up. Let's
We
go.
love club championships in this room.
Oh, it's so bad.
But my
Okay,
point,
back to the point.
So the day before I wore this dress that we're talking about for the semifinal against Izzy, who's
Yeah.
a stud, and I needed
Yeah.
to play my best to have any chance at all. The day before, people from our club that work there, they were taking photos of us.
Yeah.
And like posting them on social media, like, final match, this, that, whatever. And so after that first day that I don't even remember what I wore, I don't think I felt I was that cute. So I was like, they're going to take photos. I have to look cute today. So that was, but.
Okay,
so
this is
back
all
to-
very
back
relatable.
to
I appreciate
the
it.
Professional women.
Yeah.
Again, I think when you're the point of why you're playing golf is
Yeah.
to play the best golf you can with the least amount of distractions. I don't think fashion is on the forefront of their minds. Like
Yeah. No.
basic, simple, whatever is going to like protect me from the elements, blah, blah, blah. And like, I'm not even thinking about it. And I don't blame them, right? Like if I was trying to be a professional golfer, I wouldn't want any distractions.
Yeah.
But surely there must be like somewhere in the middle, right?
Somewhere.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I know that was
But
really
agreed,
funny.
like the women on the LPGA are not leading the fashion conversation.
It's just different. It's
For
just
female golfers,
different
they
than
are
what
not
I
doing that.
experienced growing up. And I feel like when you look at the two sports, tennis and golf, although they're very different, I feel like they're in the same parallel, in terms of very individualized, very isolating, very complicated in terms of mentally being, you have to be mentally on all the time.
Right.
Yeah.
You cannot slip up.
Yeah. And also for the beginner golfer coming into the sport of golf, it's very like, okay, wait, what do I wear? And then you end up these women go to like Dick's or the PGA Superstore, and it's just there's not a lot of selection, and you see stuff that was more common years ago, and you just don't know where you can find your own style.
Or if you're young.
And it takes a long time, I'd say. Yeah. I mean, if you're starting out and you don't know where to turn,
exactly.
It takes a while.
Or if you're young and you go into PGA Superstore, everything to me is geared towards the person that is a little bit older. That is my opinion.
Yes.
Mostly, except I will just say, Barstool Sports just recently launched in PGA Tour Superstore. I don't know how recent, but anyway, a female line. I went in there the other day, tried it on. Super cute outfits, like florals, whatever.
I didn't hear about this.
Super cute. Did I tell you this?
Yes.
Okay. So I wear usually like a size small. Yeah, tried that one on first. Didn't work. Extra large top. Extra large.
No.
And it fits me like it's form fitting.
No, wait. We should do a podcast from the
Female
dressing room
attire.
at Dick's with Barstools.
So
Or
if any of you
or
out
calling
there are
Barstool out.
buying online, go up like 20 sizes.
Wow.
Like, yeah, it was
What a
crazy.
miss.
That's almost the opposite of what companies are doing nowadays.
Yeah.
Like they're making us feel good. They're saying, "Hey, try on this small. It's going to fit when you're normally a large."
Oh, the small's big on you? Oh, here, go extra small.
Yeah.
Totally.
Oh my goodness. Well, before we wrap up the show, we have to talk about Echo's Club Championships wins.
Ooh, yes.
Echo won the Papago Club Championship and the Phoenix Country Club Championship.
Congratulations.
So what happened? Tell
you.
us about those, because they're actually two totally different formats too. So start off with Papago first.
So Papago, I'm playing with Lauren Brown. I can't remember the two other ladies' names.
It's okay. It's all right.
End of the day, I'm down back two. And I'm like, okay, it's not the end of the world.
Because it's 2 days of stroke play.
2 days
So
stroke
you're
play.
finishing up the second round.
Yeah.
And you're down by 2.
First round, down by 2. So I'm like, okay, I got a week to think about this.
Oh, there's a week in between.
Yes,
not
it's a
back-to-back
Friday
days.
and a Friday. Yeah.
Oh,
So I'm
wow.
like, okay,
Oh.
get yourself
brutal.
together.
Anything can happen in a week.
I
Your body
know.
can do a million different things. What?
To get a new swing.
Right. Holy cow.
So I just putt and chipped for 7 days. And I was like, if you get your short game figured out, I had a couple stupid holes the first day. I made an 8 on the first hole at Papago. Wind was howling, hit it in the water, chipped up, hit it back in the water. And I was like, okay, that doesn't happen on normal days.
Yeah.
Only the club champ days.
Yeah, exactly.
And you had that on the first day, first hole.
Nice.
God
Nice.
bless.
Good recovery.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Because I've witnessed that too,
Yeah.
and then people just fall
Yeah.
apart.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm like, this is going to be a long 17 holes.
Yeah.
It's fine. I had my own cart. So I was like, could just like breathe it out. But so it was 2 back. And then the second round just started with birdies. I chipped in the first hole and I was like, okay, this is a much better start.
And then you practiced just chipping and
Yeah.
putting the week, but with the week in between, and you end up chipping in on the first hole. Like, okay, there you go. That's where practice pays off.
And Papago is hard, I feel like, to get on and right. I mean, it is. You get on a rhythm, but then you kind of get towards the middle and
Yes.
the end of those holes, and it is hard to hit those greens
Yeah.
sometimes.
Yeah.
And we just played Desert Classic. So I'm like, oh, these tees are easy. Well, we're 1 back. We're gold.
Yeah.
So you're not hitting where you were for Desert Classic.
You mean you were green. So gold
Yes.
is forward and green. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you're further back.
Yes. So that was like mentally challenging. The first round, I'm like, oh my gosh, these used to be gettable holes. And
Yeah.
now I'm like, okay,
Yeah.
just play it fairways and greens. So the second round, the first 9 holes, I think I had 4 birdies.
Wow.
That's helpful.
And I'm
What
like,
does that feel like? I wouldn't know.
Practice your short
That's a
game.
negative.
Shipping.
That's a negative
Putting.
1. That's what I say to Tori all the time.
word.
That's a negative 1. Negatives are good.
So you're feeling good. You've caught up, obviously, at that point.
I think. So I'm checking. I'm like, okay, just check Golf Genius. Just see where you are. Well, the ladies ahead of us aren't using it.
of course.
I'm
not.
tied with someone and I'm like, they haven't posted anything. And I'm like, okay, it's fine. So we get to like 17 and the girls are like, you won. You won. And I'm like, will you stop saying that?
Right. It's not done. It's not over.
Please stop saying that. I still got to get the ball in the hole. So we finished on 18 and they're like, congratulations. And I'm like, still, nothing is calculated. Their scores aren't in. And they're like, no one's going to shoot. I think I ended up shooting like 76. I'm like, it's not even that great of a number
Yes,
for how
it
well I
is.
played
Yes,
on
it
the
is. Yeah. Yeah.
I just went bogey. I just kept making bogeys. And I was like, is this ever going to end?
The back 9 though is
Oh,
tough.
Yeah.
my
Easy to do out
word.
there. Yeah.
Right? So,
Well,
yes,
congratulations.
thank you.
And then shortly after, you played the Phoenix country club championship, which
Yep.
is there's a stroke play qualifier, but then it goes into match play, same as Arizona.
Yep.
So how was that?
So it was one round. It was fun. I played Shannon.
Uh-huh.
So Shannon played. I shot one over on the front, but she would just make putts from anywhere.
Yeah. She's
I'm
a
like,
good
oh, I've
putter.
got this one. Knocks it in. I'm like, okay, let me make this one. Now that
Yeah.
I'm shaking.
Yeah.
So
Shannon
it
Shaw
was a
is
good
so
match.
fun.
Yeah.
Shannon's been on the podcast a couple times too, and actually we're doing a golf school. I'm gonna go to Mila Line's golf school after this, and she'll be there too. She's always working on her game.
Always.
She's a softball player. She's an athlete, so
Yep.
there's no surprise that she gave you a tough match,
Totally.
tough final match at
So it was
Phoenix.
fun.
Well, congratulations.
Thank you.
I love that.
That's awesome.
You know, one other thing I wanted to touch on before we actually end is men's golf style and what you like to see men looking like out on the golf course. Now, me, I like
You
the tight pants.
No, every time there's tight pants, she texts me a picture. I'm like, okay.
Now, you have to have the right body type
Yeah.
for tight
Tight
pants.
No.
But I like them a little tighter, and you know, I actually, you know who I think has the best color selection is Scotty Scheffler. He's always wearing cool tones, whereas right now you're seeing a lot of browns, a lot of oranges, a lot of yellows out there. The men are wearing.
I like the pop of color. So whenever they have pops of color, I
Yeah.
don't know. I used to like how Justin Thomas, like with the polo. I loved
Yes.
his look with polo.
Very classic
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
clean.
Exactly. Bailey, how do you think do you think these companies are giving them exactly what to wear for all 4 days?
I
Or
don't-
even the entire week?
I don't think they do that other than the majors.
Yeah, I was gonna say
because then they
specific.
want to, push that.
Don't they
product.
do like a collection that,
Yes.
like when I see a line like Under Armour, they'll say, you know, this is what he's going to wear on day 1, day 2, day 3, but that's only for the majors,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
And then, okay.
Because even, I mean, I think it's happened on the PGA Tour as well, but definitely on the LPGA, like some, girls that are both sponsored by Adidas will show up on a regular tour event in the same outfit or something, because
Yeah.
they just get the collection, the pieces, and they're free to
Well,
mix
that's like in
and match.
tennis. When you see this, like if they're sponsored by Nike and they're wearing the same outfits and they play each other,
Yeah.
that happens not a lot, but you're like, oh, they messed up on that one.
Yeah. What do you like to see the men wearing out on the golf
I
course?
like the cool tones.
Yeah.
Like sharp, put together.
Yeah.
Scotty Scheffler looks good. I think Schauffele looks good.
I love Adidas.
Yeah, those guys look good. I don't know, like, it depends on people's personality. And I'm thinking about, even just amateur golfers that I see, like a lot of guys I see in like wild stuff, but I'm like, if that's your personality, I'm cool with it. Like, rock. I mean, it's not
Totally.
my style, and like, I wouldn't do that, and I wouldn't put my husband in it, but like, rock it, like, go for it.
Yeah. What if they're wearing a visor though?
I don't mind a visor.
You
I
don't?
don't mind
She's
a
preppy.
visor.
I prefer a visor.
Yeah.
A visor? No,
on,
on
a man,
men.
on a man though.
Both.
Yeah.
Myself
I
and a man. Yeah.
I actually, yeah.
Oh my gosh, you are just
No,
throwing
like-
her for a loop.
No, like
You're
Fred
welcome.
Couples, like old school, like Fred Couples, like the visor,
Love.
like that is
Yes.
like
It
that
Classic.
visor
is-
doesn't bother. I keep trying to get Max into a visor.
Yes.
My son, because he has a big head like his mom. Okay, we have trouble with hats. They're like top hats.
Yeah.
So I'm like, why don't you wear a visor? Mom, I cannot wear a visor.
Why?
Probably 'cause you said don't wear a visor.
Oh no, like for Max.
Yeah, like you said it out loud. So he's like, Tito, that's what my
Yeah,
kids
no,
call her. Tito, tell me I can't wear a visor.
Oh no.
even though he's an adult.
Yes,
He won't think for himself.
I'll text
Tito.
him. I'll text him later. That's probably the hats and visors though at Alley. I mean, they are flying.
We are
Yes.
getting really good. I'm getting into like a really good
It's amazing.
I feel like I've gotten on the freeway at about 100 miles an hour, like where you're in your zone. I feel like I'm getting
It's
the
like an
feel.
accessory that the women are just eating up right now.
And I'm looking at what people are wearing and saying, okay, I need to do those hat colors or that thread color or those combinations. It's very much, maybe that's my problem. I spend too much time on
the hats and visors.
Yes.
Well, we appreciate it.
Yeah. It'll keep coming.
All
More
right.
ideas.
One closeout question for each of you. What advice would you give to the beginner golfer, the female that's just starting to play this summer? They see us wearing all sorts of different stuff, and obviously their golf closet, quote unquote, is small or non-existent. What would you suggest that they grab right away to kind of get them through the summer and feel pretty and put together and what pieces.
Something from shopalex.com.
Oh, yeah, there you go. Oh, Bailey, stop.
No, I mean, I think, right. Just understand, like you said, to begin, Echo, you're not into blacks, you're into navies. Yeah. Same with me. Like my entire closet is navy based. Know what you like and know what works for you, color palette wise, and get a few, maybe start basic. I mean, it can be overwhelming. So maybe start basic and see what you like, and then maybe add pops of color with accessories, right? With the pair of shoes or the hat or something. And then once you feel more comfortable, then, have at it. Shopalex.com. Add to cart.
Well, and also patterns can be bright and bold, and you can definitely notice that someone's wearing the same pattern all the time if they do. So buy solids. Buy solids, and no one knows. I could wear the same navy skirt every single round, and no one would ever come up to me and be like, "Oh, is that the same skirt that you keep wearing?" Like no one would notice.
I would say color blocking. That's my new thing. Like if I learned to do that a little earlier. So I'm not a big pattern person either, but get some colors that go together. You do that a lot on your Instagram, where you put you start to take the skirt and you run it through your closet. Pick maybe 3 different bright colors for the top, and then pick your best fitting bottoms, and then just make sure they all complement each other. And you can wear all pink one day, pink in the navy the next day, pink in the aqua the next day. That way you have kind of 3 looks on solids.
That are all different.
That are all
Feel
very
different.
different.
Yeah.
And then change it up with your hat, because the hat's the least expensive.
Or visor.
Exactly. Yes.
And Echo, what about shoes?
I would plug shoes.
I
was gonna plug Alix one more time for their Instagram. My closet has expanded by like 8 outfits because they just pair things.
Yes.
Like the eye that they have is not my same. You wore like pink with pink the other day, and I was like, wow, I would have never thought of that. I was like, why? Just
take screenshots of things that you see on different, things. Just like when you are looking for inspiration for your house and bookshelves, you take pictures of things that you like. Take pictures of color combinations that look good, and then apply it to what, at home. Totally. And then, that light pink and that hot pink go together.
Yeah. And for the shoes, my tip would be, like, you don't have to buy golf shoes right away. Like, don't feel like you need to buy super expensive golf shoes. You don't need to. You can wear sneakers right off the bat. If you do not, oh my God, Alix wore sneakers for the first 2 years. And mom still wears sneakers for every round.
Everyone says, don't you slip? I'm like, I do not swing fast enough to slip.
Kim Eaton, one of the best golfers in the state, wears sneakers, New Balance sneakers. Okay, there's zero tread. There's zero tread on those suckers. She's not sliding all over the golf course. So don't feel like you have to buy golf shoes. But Echo, what's your favorite golf shoe right now?
The Jordans. The Jordan 1 lows. I was going to shout out Tony Finau if you got to me for the PGA. I just feel like his shoe game is...
You are a shoe person.
I know.
And totally different from us. I would never say Air Jordans for golf. I mean, that would not even be in my mind. I love that, Echo. I love it.
Thank you.
Bailey, thanks for coming on today.
Course, thanks for having me.
Echo, thanks for being here. See, it wasn't as bad as you thought.
No.
We're just chatting.
Easy.
We're just chatting.
Just chatting.
Al, thanks.
No, thanks, T.
Again, visit the Golf Closet. It just launched today. There's a link in the show notes on where you can check it out. I'm really excited about it. And thanks, ladies, for being here.
Be sure to check out the show notes for all the details on today's show. If you haven't already, please give a 5-star written review on your favorite podcast platform, or even screenshot this episode and send it to your golf buddies. Thank you so much for listening, and I'll catch you on the first tee in a couple days.